Hello and welcome to part two on the genius of Eric Faulkner. And this time we're focusing on his acoustic and folk music and also on his advanced and sometimes elite songwriting. And I want to talk about what is advanced songwriting, versus other songwriting. And I'm certainly not the expert to tell you all of that, right? So I did a quick search. Now, there's some things that I could add to this, and there are some things about Eric Faulkner's music that I might mention when we're going through this. But so you have the beginner, the intermediate, the advanced, and then you have the elite songwriters, and there are characteristics typical of all of these. And I will give examples of where it's typical. So for a beginner, it says here, there are simple song structures: verse, chorus, verse, basic chord progressions. So that would be the 1-4-5 or the 1-5. What is it? 6-4-6 or something like that. But I don't know. I don't pay attention to those. I try not to learn them because I don't want to use them, right? But there are some very basic chord progressions that are used for over and over in popular music, for example. And with regards to lyrics, they are straightforward and may lack depth or originality. And examples given are songs with just 3 chords, repeating the same melody for each verse, and lyrics focusing on basic emotions like happiness or sadness. Okay. So I consider myself a beginner songwriter, but I go beyond everything here. The question is, am I? You have to be successful at going beyond them. That's the thing. And by success, I don't mean money. I mean, doing a good job, that you can look at it objectively and say you did well. But this thing here, there are some things about this. It's like, oh, well, if you just use 3 chords. Now, that is a hallmark, for example, of basic songwriting. But that doesn't mean that a master songwriter can't write something with 3 chords and make it great. But the other thing is, a beginner can stumble upon some really great songs if they have a good voice to them. And I don't mean this physical voice. I mean they've found something that they can communicate with people so well, that takes it immediately to another level. But once again, though, if your melody is simple and you repeat it over and over for the verse and stuff, that's still going to be beginner. So that's fine. Okay, we expect that. Intermediate, you're exploring more complex song structures, incorporating varied chord progressions, and developing a more unique lyrical style. This is not very in-depth, okay? But there's examples, a song with an intro, with a verse, chorus, and bridge chorus structure. So the ability to write a bridge, the ability to perhaps change keys, even though it may be challenging for someone at intermediate, right? Maybe you're using advanced chords. Now it says here like 7th chords. If you start with rock and roll, you play 7th chords in the very first song you write. So that's not perhaps the best example. But I've beginner and intermediate songwriters are using at best 7th chords and some sus4 chords, right? In their songwriting. They haven't learned yet how to mix, for example, diminished chords into their songwriting. Advanced songwriters master a wide range of songwriting techniques including crafting intricate melodies, writing vivid imagery, right, and using creative language. And so let's step back here and remember, we're talking about songwriting. We're not talking about composing. There is a big difference. Composing leads into a completely different study of music, right? And there are a bunch of methods used in composing that changed and that composers built up on over and over through time that reach kind of this peak in the Romantic period, right? And a lot of those techniques are still used if you're writing a score for like a big Hollywood film, like for Star Wars or something like that. But that is a different skill from songwriting. The classical example of a great songwriter would be Schubert, right? and you can look up his Leader and listen to that and find some of the best written songs. Master songwriting, not necessarily composing, songwriting. There is a difference, and that would be, if you wanted to look that up, listen to the Elf King. I forget what it's actually called, but you'll find it, Schubert's Elf King, where he did not write the lyrics for that, by the way. But anyway, let's go on to examples for advanced songwriting they have here. A song with a complex melody that uses counterpoint. Now, there's not a lot of counterpoint in modern music. And you know what? I'm not even going to get into the study of counterpoint. We use harmonies today, which is different from counterpoint, right? I don't want to get too much into this. But lyrics that paint a clear picture with a descriptive language and a structure that incorporates instrumental breaks or outros, right? Now, the elite or professional, okay? Consistently writing innovative and impactful songs that connect with listeners on a deep level, often incorporating unique perspectives and pushing creative boundaries. For example, a song that blends genres, a song that tackles social issues in a unique way, or a song that uses unconventional song structures to evoke strong emotions. Now, a lot of this is focusing on the lyrical content, for example, when you say, we're dealing with tackling social issues and stuff like that. But from a songwriting perspective, if we take some of that, like the meaning of the lyrics out of it, the elite person, well, here are some elite songwriters. Obviously, I mentioned Schubert, the Beatles, right? And I don't mean the Beatles when they did Sgt. Pepper's. I mean when they did She Loves You. They were already elite songwriters at that time. They were able to create sounds that never existed before, pulling on everything that they had learned, as everyone does. As I was saying with composition, they were building on everything that came before them. And then, of course, getting on to albums like Sgt. Pepper's, where there's a theme across the entire album, right? Stevie Wonder is the perfect example of the elite songwriter, who I think he released 4 tremendous albums in a row, all of them creating new sounds that are still being felt in music today, right? That he created, out of his mind and then out onto paper and onto the piano or whatever keyboard he was playing, this incredible music, new beats that we hadn't heard, And so that is and Bob Dylan, obviously. But Bob Dylan a little bit different without having to go to that point where it's groundbreaking from that perspective, simply being able to write lyrics that can stand on their own. Being able to write lyrics and putting the effort in to write lyrics that flow through the entire song and are full of surprises. So the whole elite thing is it's kind of all over the place. But what is expected today is that someone who is an elite songwriter can build an entire album that has a theme across it and all of that sort of thing. Now, the thing about Eric is that my opinion is that he has the ability to be that elite songwriter. But that's not his intention. His intention was he was drawn back to the folk music that I think had inspired him in the very early days of the Bay City Rollers, when you listen to songs like La Belle Jeanette. And I know I say this over and over and over again, but I love that song. I enjoy. There's a little bit of a simplicity to it that is just beautiful. But if we were to look at the songs that Eric was writing, let's say from the first Rollers album, those would be beginner/intermediate songs. Now, does that mean they're not good songs? No. This is the thing about Eric and any person that's going to be a good songwriter, is that at any stage in their career, they're writing good songs, right? It just may be that song fits into, an existing genre or whatever. And you're not pushing those boundaries yet. And that's fine. You know, I like all of the Bay City Rollers albums to varying degrees, whatever. But then when you get to like the song Once Upon a Star, you're now in that pushing beyond intermediate songwriting, right? And then when you get to You're a Woman and Strangers in the Wind, you're getting towards that advanced songwriting, right? So he's always had that capability, and then sometimes he hits on, I think his stuff comes from inspiration. He hits on something that takes him into this elite realm, right? And one thing about the super advanced and certainly the elite songwriters is that, like Schubert, you know, or Mahler, you can give them the words, so to speak, and they can write something for it and bring it alive. And Eric has done that at least twice, and we're gonna listen to one of them today. Now, one of them is coming out on an album or something on Bandcamp that he's going to be releasing in the future. It has been put out there, but it's been taken. It was kind of like a here's what's coming and then taken down. So I'm not going to put that on here. But we'll be hearing that on his next album. But I do have something later on today that he also did this, and that shows a lot of skill. And you know what? I think for anyone that's writing that gets to the intermediate level, it might make sense to pick up poems and put them to music, right? That would be a great challenge to yourself. So, I have some songs, and we're going to listen to them. And what is the first one that we have here? Okay, so here's the thing. I have two focuses here. One is simply on the fact that his transition to folk music is incredible. I just love it, right? But there are those times where he goes a bit beyond what you're expecting from folk music. Now, this first one here is called The Front Line. It's a personal favorite of mine. Let's listen to it and then come back and discuss. I think that makes more sense, so I can listen along with you. Here we go.
I am a soldier man, I signed a pledge. Off to the front line we go. I am a Philistine, I have the right. Off to the trenches we go. Will we see another rising sun above our shallow grave? Cover me with roseos, burn me on a funeral pyre. Do we stand on hallowed ground? Our pitied souls, will they be saved? There must be a joker in the pack. I am a farmer man, I dig the fields. Off to the front line we go. I am a poet man, I fight with words. Off to the trenches we go. There must be an undertaker, dress us for our maker high. Cover me with roseos, throw my ashes to the wind. Welcome to the stupid war, what is it we were fighting for? There must be a joker in the pack. I am a fisherman, I cast my nets. Off to the front line we go. I am a thespian, to be or not to be. Off to the trenches we go, where we all fall down. We all fall down together, where we all fall down. We all go down together. I've been to Vietnam with Uncle Sam. Off to the front line we go. I've done Jerusalem, I've got the ship. Off to the trenches we go. Will we see another rising sun above our shallow graves? Cover me with roseos, burn me on a funeral pyre. Do we stand on hallowed ground? Our pitied souls, will they be saved? There must be a joker in the pack. I am Jesus Christ, you read the book. Off to the front line we go. I am the substitute that's scored to win the cup. Up to the trenches we go. Here we go.
Yeah, so obviously, like my opinion on that song is it is definitely advanced songwriting. Let's get past all of these categories, right? I just wanted to introduce those. I love the lyrics and the spontaneity behind it and the description, and it is a protest song. And the thing about protest songs is I'm learning as I get older, people don't believe in protest a lot these days because they don't think it actually accomplishes anything. But the protest song is not just about the protest itself. It's also about providing comfort for people that know, essentially the truth in a case like this about the horrors of war. Is what we're actually talking about here, right? And to be able to communicate in a way like that with lyrics that are like grab at you immediately. That's the skill that I'm talking about with that one. The next tune we're going to play, I mentioned earlier that we were going to do this. So this is a Robbie Burns poem, To Chloris, set to music by Eric Faulkner. Let's take a listen and come back.
"'Tis friendship's pledge, my young fair friend, nor thou the gift refuse, nor with unwilling ear attend the moralizing news. Since thou in all thy youth and charms must bid the world adieu, a world gains peace in constant arms to join the friendly few. Since thy gay morn of life forecast chill came the tempest loud, and ere misfortune's eastern blast did nip a fairer flower. Since life's gay scenes must charm no more, still much is left behind. Still nobler wealth hast thou in store, the comforts of the mind. Thine is the self-approving glow, unconscious honor's part, and dearest gift of heaven below, thine friendship's truest heart. The joys refined of sense and taste, with every muse to rove, and doubly were the poet blessed, those joys could he improve. this world gains peace and constant arms.
Isn't that beautiful? And it's so beautiful, in fact, that it seems ridiculous to analyze it. But let's get back to something we were saying earlier. The advanced songwriter has the ability to pick up something. You can be commissioned to do something, or you can be given lyrics and write music for it, and do so effectively. And I am and just in awe of how well done this is, and also the knowledge about the different instruments that are going to be used through this as well. That foresight, right, makes the whole thing come together. There's arrangement involved in it as well. An emotional song, isn't it? We're going to move on to our next one. And I'm disorganized, so now I have to go and look for it. We are on to a completely different realm here. This is Sofa Surfin'. We'll play this and get back and talk about it.
Saving dog ends for the journey, busking doorways for the fair, singing covers for a coffee and jumping early morning train. With a one-way ticket in my hand, I better find somewhere to crash. I tried to call you. Can I stay for just one night? If it's a bad time, dim the lights, put up a sign. No sofa surface here. Guess I'm to put a live. Guess I'm to put a die. Can I beg, steal a duvet for the night? As this old world keeps on turning, it's the days of sofa surfing. In my hand, this old guitar will get me by. Where the muse leads, I will follow. Another gig, another song. This one goes out to the ones I love, the friends that I have known. It's time to pack the gear, set up the merch, maybe sell a few CDs. Come in the morning, I'll catch a wave, surf my guitar, lieu of paying rent. Wash the dishes, walk the dog, mow and trim the lawn. Guess I'm to put a live, guess I'm to put a die. Can I beg, steal a duvet for the night? For a time I'll keep on busking. It's the days of sofa surfing, with my worn out beat up songbook in my hand. Next stop, it's a bar in the city. Then it's a fast hellbed, it rains. Find a bed at the next house party, host an open mic, hit the road again, yeah. Where the road leads, I will travel. Another town, another show. Get a sound check if I'm lucky, but hey, it's just the way it goes. Better lock the door, turn the key. Sofa surface here. Guess it's c'est la vie. Guess it's what will be. Mile a mile, keep moving on. A one-man band. For a time I'll keep on busking. It's the days of sofa surfing, with my worn out beat up songbook in my hand. Guess I'm too poor to live. Guess I'm too poor to die. Can I beg, steal a duvet for the night? That's the song world keeps on turning. It's the days of sofa surfing. In my hand, the song guitar will get me by.
Okay, masterful songwriting right there. You know, you've got that intro and outro, which is great. You have the lyrics that, wow, it really paints a picture. And I said that the very first time I heard that song, and I think I actually chose it on the dedication Fans Remember the Bay City Rollers radio show when I did a little spot on the stuff that had been introduced to me by Eric, you know, and mentioned that, you know, yeah, right away. But also, you know, I guess there's a bridge in there. It's a beautiful bridge. It's unexpected and it's perfect. If it is a bridge, you know, I'm not much of a music analyst yet, you know, and all the chord progressions are great. The melody is great. You know, and here's the thing also, about a great songwriter. So, for example, someone who's starting out may write chords and then out of that make a melody out of it, and then if it might hit them to write words to that, right? Like it there's an emotion that might go along with that. The great songwriters have a plan on what they want to do, I think, you know. Even though some of the greatest I've seen interviews, they're asked where did the song come from, and they say I do not know. I think I've seen Bob Dylan say that. Rory Gallagher, I mentioned this once before. He was asked where did the songs come from, and he looked up and pulled. He's like, and it is a weird thing about songs. Even if you're not a good songwriter, you know that there's this weird, strange thing about where the songs come from. But the better a songwriter is, the more that they can plan out what they want to achieve with the song. And I think that what Eric wanted to achieve, he did achieve with that song. And I would say something like You're a Woman, which is an older song of his. He achieved it with that song, although we didn't get to see the whole truth about what the song was about, right? But in some ways, that made it more mysterious and more interesting, right? Okay, what do we have next? We have I'll Name a Star After You. Okay, and we'll come back and talk about it after. Here we go.
If I was an astronaut, I'd paint the sky, forget me not. Send beams for your hair, I'd name a star after you. If I was a diplomat, I'd weave the words to heal your hearts, dedicate them all to you. I'd name a star after you, to see you shining bright, to be my guiding light. I'll name a star after you. I am not a wealthy man, and all I have at my command is love, truth. I pray for you, and to name a star after you, to see you shining bright, to be my guiding light. I'll name a star after you. My guiding light, shining so bright. If If I was a diplomat, I'd weave the words to heal your heart, dedicate them all to you, see your light can shine you through. But I'm not a wealthy man, and all I have at my command is love, truth, a prayer for you, see your light can shine you through, and to name a star after you. If I was an astronaut, I'd paint the sky, forget me not, send moonbeams for your hair, and I'll name a star after you, to see you shining bright, to be my guiding light. I'll name a star after you.
I've probably gone on about this song several times in the past, and my apologies. One thing I'd like to say is that with all these videos, it all started when I got drunk one night and I was very angry that there were no good documentaries about the Bay City Rollers. And then that led to me learning even more music, especially by Eric and Duncan, but also Ian, who was only in the band for a short time. But so it means that I made videos that weren't that great to start off with, and I wanted to kind of like tie things together in a better way. And the sad reality is, of course, the early videos get those huge thousands of hits, and then I don't later on. And that's okay, because for me, the drive is to set the record straight and to do it in the best way possible. And that even when I'm gone, hopefully these will be here, and there'll be some record for someone that just comes along and is shocked by how great this music is. So, yes, looking at the song that we just played, the guitar work, and it's not just the chords, but the way they are played is incredible. Once again, the lyrics are poetic, and they paint a picture that you are drawn into. It is simply a masterclass on songwriting. And I can only assume that Eric felt the same way about it when it was done, right? I know everyone's different about listening to their own work and reviewing their own work and the worth of it, right? I've seen some people have said they don't even listen to anything they've ever done because all they hear is the mistakes in it, or they don't like their own voice or whatever, But I have to feel that it's a triumphant song. It's a triumphant song. Now, we're going to go out on the next one, and it is The Prodigal. And I didn't mention, I was mentioning who I think are the world kind of agrees on who I was mentioning as the elite songwriters. But another person that comes to mind for me is Kate Bush. And I've mentioned this all the time. And I don't love every Kate Bush album, and I don't put Kate Bush on all the time. But my favorite Kate Bush stuff is side 2 of the Hounds of Love album. Right? And actually, I forget the name of the CD. It just stays in my CD player, CD 2 of Ariel, I guess, right? But the amazing thing about that is that Kate is pulling from folk music on some of those songs. And I guess the best example would be Jig of Life, right? That's from side 2 of Hounds of Love. But it's all throughout there, and there's different folk music coming from her later stuff. But anyway, Eric's doing the same. And they're showing us that there is this rich ground of folk music that we can, learn from and present in a new way. Now, folk music is always showing up, but it's not always treated. There's a few things. There's the authentic folk music, And then there is the groundbreaking music that is based on folk music, and both of those are obviously just fantastic. But then there is the shallow usage of folk music, which we want to avoid, right? But anyway, I think that Eric achieves just as much as Kate does with this next song. It's very inspirational, and this is another thing, I guess, for people that want to be songwriters, is that to be a great songwriter, something that can help you is to pull inspiration from so many different types of music. I know that Eric really enjoys, let's just say different keys and different modes that have to do with certain folk music, and he uses that in his music as well, right? But I think all the great songwriters are constantly learning, and it is really incredible. And it's actually funny because I did win a video conversation with Eric, and we both were talking about how absolutely insane it is that with 12 tones, people are able to create new music all the time. It absolutely is incredible. But that means that you can draw from other genres and create something new. It's just a question of, do you have the patience and the work ethic to actually do it? Because let's get back to what we were talking about, advanced songwriting and elite songwriting. Work is a huge part of it. Practice, dedication, I've only been trying to work on writing songs for a few years, and I have not been as dedicated as these people. And I can see just how much effort it requires. It is one of the, music is one of the most difficult things to study that there is, I do believe. And I think artists are worth far more than, let's say, PhDs doing AI, right? I'd rather have an artist over for dinner than a PhD writing AI. That's just my opinion. Have a good night. Thanks for watching, and enjoy this phenomenal piece of music from Eric Faulkner, The Prodigal.
All things to men must be as all things they must pass. As the pibroch's long lament regales the day, fair to say, no man is an island. Come the day the reckoning comes his way. Will you bathe me in the water where the cool mountain streams running high? Will you carry me there where the high heather kisses the sky? No words of disdain crush your lips to break your smile. No errant thoughts ever wandered in your mind. Fair's to say, I did not deserve you to defy the vanities of man. Will you hear me? Hear words calling? Or will the wild wind tear them apart? Will you hold me in your warm arms? Will you comfort the prodigal's hearts? must pass. As a daybreak's long lament regales the day, fair to say, no man is an island. Come the day, the reckoning comes his way. Will you bathe me in the water where the high heather kisses the sky? And are you with me? Are we one voice? Is the peace at the end of our day? Will you be there, shining brightly, standing strong for to guide me on my way? Will you hear me, hear words calling, or will the wild wind tear them apart? Will you hold me in your warm arms? Will you come